Hello. A London MP is to question the Home Secretary tomorrow about reports that the Metropolitan Police are testing water cannons for possible use in anti-riot operations in the capital. This type of equipment's never yet been used in mainland Britain, and if it's introduced permanently, it would represent a dramatic escalation in the arsenal available to the police. The manufacturers involved have declined to comment, but we can reveal that this is one of the two water cannons now being evaluated by Scotland Yard. It's known as the Controller 1 and it's manufactured by Carmichael's of Worcester, who offer high-powered jets with manual or remote control and a range of electronic gadgetry. Another, more sophisticated tender, the AMAC 1, is designed specifically for export and can be equipped with water cannons, TV cameras and armoured shelter for riot police. British forces, though, are not thought to be contemplating this option. But whatever the type of cannon eventually adopted, its use raises serious questions about the handling of civil disturbances in Britain. Water cannon were introduced in Northern Ireland in 1970, but the machine's low capacity and poor manoeuvrability made it unsuitable for Londonderry's narrow streets. And the riots there were small and relatively scattered. But in the set-piece battles in Europe in recent years, riot police have increasingly resorted to water cannons for crowd control. In Germany in 1981, they were used to break up several anti-nuclear demonstrations. Well, Jeremy Corbyn, it's brutal, but it does seem to have been effective in the continent. Why shouldn't it be at least available to police here?
Well, I think the introduction of water cannon here would be a terrible day because they are very dangerous. They do cause very serious injuries indeed, and they don't do anything towards solving the problems that you spoke about in the few moments clip we had just now. These water cannon were first asked for by people within the Home Office, and we understand some of the chief constables after the riots in 1981. The report on new equipment and water cannon came out straight after the riots. Unfortunately, the Scarman report, which was far more detailed and looked into the causes of those riots, was months later than that.
But aren't there occasions, haven't we seen occasions, when things are just so out of hand and demonstrators so determined that it might be safer for everyone all round for the police just to stand at a distance and fire water rather than engage in hand-to-brick combat?
Well, I can only quote what some chief constables said after the riots in 1981, that they didn't wish to see water cannon brought in because they felt that they would exacerbate an already tense situation. They would cause panic and fear amongst people on peaceful demonstrations and would be the start of a militarisation of the police force in this country. That was the view of some of the chief constables. Others wanted to bring them in and use them in a very repressive way.
But what would you and your government do then about violence in the streets? Don't the police have to be protected?
Well, the violence on the streets that we saw in 1981 in Brixton was very much a product of youth unemployment, of the terrible conditions that people in Brixton and Toxteth were facing. And this week, yesterday in Parliament, there was a debate about youth unemployment. There are nearly 2 million people under 25 out of work. 350,000 school leavers have never had a job. That is the real cause of the problems. Those are the people that should be helped, and that's where government policy should be directed, not at spending more money on these kind of things.
But can I press you on that, though? Because tackling unemployment and the causes of riots is a long-term problem. Don't the police have to be protected in the meantime?
Well, I ask you, does a water cannon actually protect the police at all? There haven't been any riots since 1981. It is a question of a different approach to policing. And many people have argued that bringing in riot control measures, such as CS gas, plastic bullets, rubber bullets, or water cannon, merely exacerbate the situation and make an already difficult situation far worse. What I would like to see is a different approach to policing methods within London and some control over the police. The reason that this story is a story is because the only way that Londoners can find out what the Metropolitan Police is doing is by MPs asking questions of the Home Secretary.
Well, you've already asked a question, you've received one answer. What's your next move?
Well, I've just put down 8 more questions to the Home Secretary on the use of water cannon. Asked him what guidelines have been issued, where they were manufactured, at what cost they were manufactured, and what the dangers are to them, because the experience in West Germany, in France and Japan, where they've been used, is that they do cause serious injury, they are very powerful, and that, for example, a woman demonstrator in West Germany was bowled over by one of these and had to have a gynecological examination afterwards. They are very dangerous weapons.
Jeremy Corbyn, thank you very much indeed.